Okay, hey, Alita Army, and welcome to the Alita live stream of 2021, September the 17th, Alita as a Warrior, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. And the Kansas bar in Denver is open for business. So as you can see, finally got that thing installed about 15 minutes before we came on here. So yeah, it was a chore, but we finally got it up. So anyway, we're going to have a really great time talking about Alita and how she, what her characteristics are in terms of being a warrior, how good a warrior she is. We got some other people coming to join us. Actually, I think Do Not Stand By is going to come on. Being a warrior, how good a warrior she is. And she's I guess Max Tac Jirai is going to be on, also here in a couple of minutes. So hopefully everybody's doing well. And yep, that's there it is, the Kansas bar, folks. It's also called Scotty's Pub, so that's that little sign you see right there, but you can't read it too well. And I'm going to take another picture of it later. And the floor needs vacuuming because we had all stuff strewn all over it and all that kind of stuff. So and I had to move some of the items on the wall behind me there. Around, just I'm gonna kind of get that lined up a little better too. But yeah, it looks pretty good, I guess. So yeah, it is great, Alejandro, to be at the Kansas bar. So absolutely. By the way, if anybody wants to come on and talk about Alita and about her being a warrior, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and as you can see, there it is right there. And just jump on. We're real friendly here, and don't worry about your English. My English can be bad at times too, because I'm one of those Southerners from America. So yeah, Ash Blackwin, yeah, it is kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, we had a heck of a time getting that thing up too. Well, I would say that the unboxing of that was probably as difficult, if not more difficult, than actually putting that up. Kunstler 99, he really loves bubble wrap, and that stuff was really wrapped heavy, which is understandable because that thing, we didn't want it to get damaged, in transit. So I had to take, like, on just one side, I had to take 30 screws out of the crate that he had put it in. And it's really nice. It's got a little app that I actually change the colors, of the light you see there. And it doesn't look as nice there as it would if it was dark. So I'm going to take a picture of it when it gets a little darker. And eventually I'm going to put a more solid background there behind the, where those bottles are. It's actually a window there. So I'm going to put a dark background there, and then in the future, of course, can kind of close the shades and all that, make it look like, the Denver branch of the Kansas bar. So, yeah, I kind of like that, actually. It is pretty cool. You see my Denver Broncos, stuff up there. Denver's won 3 Super Bowls, so, got to have that up there, obviously. Okay. I guess Maxie and Do Not Stand By is not back yet, but I'm going to go ahead with this. And feel free to jump in, guys. I mean, I'm serious. Come on and talk about Alita with us. And you've seen a variation of this slide quite a bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide, but before we can talk about Alita as a warrior, we got to kind of go over a little bit of her physical characteristics, because usually a soldier, like in the military or something like that, they go through some pretty rigorous training, and they are able to do things that maybe an average person cannot do. They're stronger as a general rule. This is humans now. I mean, certainly Alita, even in her In her doll body, she's actually stronger than humans. But in her berserker body, certainly she's an order of magnitude stronger than humans. And then in her Imaginos body, she's an order of magnitude stronger than she is in her berserker body. So I mean, it's pretty wild, you know, about how her strength and capability increases. But yeah, she has superhuman strength. She's extremely durable. She's got that very fast subconscious self-healing. I think you've heard us talk about on past streams about, you know, how, you know, like for instance, the character Cyborg in the DCEU, he can repair himself. He can do that, but he cannot do it subconsciously. He has to actually, you know, get some tools or something like that to repair a leg, let's say, or that sort of thing. Whereas Alita, her self-repairing is done by nanotechnology that's like 300 years in advance of anything we have here today, as a matter of fact. And excuse me. And she does it all subconsciously. She can regrow limbs, actually. Particularly in that Imaginos body, it's even more pronounced, that durability and that self-healing. She has extremely fast reflexes. Now, it says less than 10 milliseconds. In her doll body, maybe not so much. I mean, she has pretty fast reflexes in the doll body, but it's not an order of magnitude faster than, let's say, a human, the best human. In her berserker body, her reflexes are 5 to 10 milliseconds. That's her reaction time. And when she's in her Imaginos bodies, we're talking like billions of a second, because you've heard us talk about before that, you know, she can actually run at relativistic speeds. So, you know, if she can do that and she wants to be able to dodge objects as she's running, she has to have extremely fast reflexes to be able to, you know, not run through a building, let's say, or not run through a car. So she really, really has fast reflexes on the order of picoseconds, probably. That's billions, or, you know, 1,000 billionths, a quadrillionth of a second, or a trillionth of a second even. She can run pretty fast, as we've said in her berserker body. She can run at speeds that are, you know, 125 miles an hour minimum. About 200 kilometers an hour is what I've calculated. And once again, in her Imaginos body, she can run at speeds approaching light. So that is many, many, many millions of times faster than she can run in her berserker body. And she certainly has that plasma weapon. She does not need the Damascus blade for that plasma weapon to come out. She can generate that from within herself. She has controlling mechanisms, circuitry and systems in her berserker and Imaginos body that, you know, that will allow her to control the plasma. But she also, if she's like in a motorball body, that same ability to control plasma is there, but she would have to draw it from an outside source, like the Damascus sword in that case. And yep, she knows Panzerkunst, which is really the most advanced, or the best, or whatever you want to call it, cyborg martial art. And it's, you know, far and away better, at least in the manga, you know, when we read that, it's far and away much better than, say, Kyokushin karate, or say Wing Chun, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or you know, any kind of karate or kung fu, Sabat, any of that. You know, she's her Panzerkunst is the best martial art ever, and it's probably because it's a combination of many different martial arts with some additional techniques in it specifically designed for cyborgs. And of course, cyborgs, you know, just the fact that their body, you know, as powerful as it is, makes it even much tougher, you know, for an opponent to take, you know, Alita down. So Anyway, that's Alita in a nutshell. You guys have seen this. You basically have seen the this slide many, many times. So, we don't need to go too much further into that. Now, Alita is a soldier. Alita, and you all know this because I think just about everybody on this stream has read the manga. Just about everybody. But anyway, Alita was in the United Republics of Mars military. We didn't establish whether it was more like a Marines type military or if it was more of a, like an army type of military. They're very similar, of course, but Marines are usually, they do interdiction in foreign countries, say on Earth. And the Army, actually can do that, but they don't take beachheads and that kind of thing like the Marines do. Yes, Ash Blackwin, definitely, she can regrow limbs, and it is a lot like the T-1000. There's no doubt about that. I would say, though, she is much more advanced than the T-1000 because, certainly the berserker body she has was actually developed in the year 2261, I think, or something like that. And so in that particular case, it's about 240 years in advance of what we have. But it's nanotech. And it's nanotech even far in advance of, say, someone like Iron Man. So anyway, before I go much further, Do Not Stand By just joined us. How's it going there, Do Not Stand By? And Den just joined us.
Hey, how's it going? How long y'all been live?
Oh, about maybe 10 or 12 minutes, not that long.
I thought I was on time this time.
Yeah,
Damn.
Oh, that's okay, Dan. We're pretty relaxed around here anyway. Oh, I love those dogs are barking their asses off.
You can hear them. They're all the way in the house. I'm in the garage. Sorry
no,
about
it's
that.
okay, really. How's it going? Do Not Stand By.
That's going okay. Sorry I'm late. I had a massive update on my computer that took forever.
No, it's okay. And I tell you, Do Not Stand By, when you said your daughter was going to cook dinner for you, I almost said, oh, heck with the stream. I'm going up to Arvada. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
anyway.
She's a cook now. She's taking a class in cooking, and she's insisting that I try her new recipes.
Oh, that's pretty neat. So anyway, I'm going to go back a couple of slides and surprise you guys. This is what we got now in Creek's Bar. This is the Denver branch of the Kansas Bar, as you can see, and that sign's real. That's not something that's that I plastered in there like I did last week. Just kind of give people an idea what it would look like.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's nice.
Yeah, it is nice, And I'll tell you what was funny about it, man. The way Jeff had that thing packed, man, that thing. The getting it unpacked was much more difficult than putting the sign up. But because now it took us a while to put. My brother came over and helped me, and it took us about 20 minutes to put the sign up, I guess, something like that. And well, maybe a little longer. It might have been maybe 30 minutes, but that sign right there. It's got what's really cool about it. Now I'm going to keep it blue like it is, but there's a little app that comes with that thing. It's got Bluetooth on it, and you can actually change the color of that sign to red or green or whatever you want. And it's pretty cool. So anyway, and then you see I'm wearing a T-shirt there that has that picture that I bought that actual T-shirt there from. T-Public, that Crayon, that's where she has her art, stored. And, they can take any of those pieces of art she's done and they can put it on a T-shirt. And I bought one, it's like $13, something. It wasn't too bad, So, and you can see Alita doing the deadlift there. So, just like that work of art I got, hanging up in my gym. So anyway, I guess what I'm going to have to do is Do Not Stand By. You're going to have to come down one time so we can have a drink in the Kansas Bar. We have to do that sometime. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
We need to bring some guests and have them ask about your memorabilia and then ask if they've seen Alita battling. How many of your guests ask that when they come over?
Oh, they always do. Some of that stuff up there I inherited from my late stepfather. He had a bar very similar to that. It's a little different color, but it was similar in construction and that sort of thing. And you see that little Scotchman there on the right, just underneath the clock. Which, by the way, I got to put a battery in it because it says 920. It's not 920, but anyway, yeah, I inherited that from him. And then, of course, there's like a stoplight you see over there that when when everybody's drinking, you have it on green. And then, when it's last call, you put it on yellow. And then when the bar is closed, you put it on red. It's pretty cool, So, and that flag you see up there in the far upper right-hand corner, that was back in 2002. I took an early retirement from the federal government, and they always give you a flag like that, and they actually fly that flag over Washington D.C. for a day before you get it. So that's pretty cool, What you see above that window there, which I'm actually going to fix that where it's not going to be light like that, because the Kansas bar is not light. It's a little darker, so I'm going to fix that. But that's kind of a crest that I got when I was in Germany. I went to the Hofbräuhaus and we had a couple of beers in there and that kind of stuff. And I got that. One of my friends, bought that from one of my friends in Germany bought that for me, and I put that up there. And on the right hand side, on the far right hand side, you see over there some of the pictures of my trips to England and trips to Germany, that I, just some of the memories I had there, so it is pretty cool. And that one thing, it looks like a mini window just under the K in Kansas. What that is my stepfather was in the Navy during World War II, and he was an enlisted pilot. And he had a bunch of medals and he's got a bunch of stuff in there, but he passed away. And of course I inherited that. So, and then there's a sign up there in the upper right-hand corner that says Scott's Pub, but you can't hardly read it. So I'm going to have to do something about that. So it's Scott's Pub and the Kansas Bar. So there you have it.
Very impressive. I hope to see it soon someday.
Oh yeah, and we'll have to watch Alita too, of course, when you come down here. I don't have any 3D, but I've got a 65-inch television. It looks pretty good on there, So, and what I'll have to do is hook my laptop up to it so we can look at the IMAX version. So it won't be 3D, but it won't be as good as what you got. Do not stand by, but it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't ever seen the IMAX version on home theater. I've only seen IMAX on IMAX in the theaters. So.
Oh, it's nice. IMAX is nice. Now, I confess, it's not as nice as 3D. It is not, but it's pretty good. It's a close, I'd say, second. That's just my opinion. So. And Dan, if I ever get your butt out here to Denver, Colorado, I mean, certainly, we can have we can spar and lift weights together and then have a drink afterwards. So
I'm afraid of flying.
Yeah. Oh, you're afraid of flying?
Alita never flew in any of the manga or the movie, so I don't need to either.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm not afraid of flying.
Oh,
no,
I didn't think you would.
Been out to Colorado, to be honest with you. I'd like to go.
Yeah, Colorado is pretty cool.
I've driven through it, but never stopped. So
yeah,
Ash, definitely something I want to do.
Yeah, Ash. Yeah, we do need to make it darker. I took this picture. I literally got that sign finished, hanging that sign up 15 minutes before the stream. So it was, and we had to clean up everything. And of course, you can see on the floor there's still junk on there. I got to vacuum that up, but. I was really literally pushing hard to try to get that sign up before the stream. I promised Jeff or Kunstler 99 that I'd try to do that. I was unable to do it earlier this week because I had some meetings. And I had a couple of strength training sessions, stuff like that. So I couldn't do it, but plus it took me a pretty good time on Wednesday to try to open that sucker, open that up. And then I had a meeting on Wednesday also. So I couldn't do it then. But yeah, I literally got that thing hung 15 minutes before this stream. So, but yeah, Ash, we're going to make that thing dark, darker, and Maxie wants me to change all the walls and all that. And if he's willing to pay for it, I'll do it. But, I think it looks fine just like this, because it's not the actual Kansas bar. It's just the Denver branch of the Kansas bar. That's what it is. So. Okay, we kind of went over this, Alita's strength, how strong she is, how durable, her quick reflexes, how fast she can run. We've talked about this on your streams and on this stream. And of course, her having that plasma weapon and knowing Panzer Kuntz makes her a really formidable opponent. And it gives her capabilities that are superhero level. Now, Alita is not a superhero, that's for sure. But her abilities are definitely superhero level abilities. So, that would make her, I would tell you, a very good soldier. If I was a general in an army, I would want her in my army for sure, especially if she was in that Imagino spot.
Weren't you a general?
I'm sorry?
Weren't you a general?
No, man.
Like in World War II, you were like a general of the
No,
Army
man,
Rangers or something. That's why you worked for. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, World War II. Wow, that makes
You were
me
right there
about
along with your
90.
stepdad, flying with them.
Yeah. My stepfather, he was in World War II, and my father was, he's a little younger than my stepfather, but he was in the occupation troops in Europe, after World War II. But no,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I wasn't ever in World War II then. So
I'm just kidding.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. I can take kidding. So, okay, now here's where I just started. Alita is a soldier, and I guess do not stand by you and Den both of. Den, you read the manga, right? You read the original series, right? Have you read the last order yet?
I've read all of it, all of it in Mars Chronicle.
Okay, yeah.
Well, many times because I animate the manga.
Yeah. Well, anyway, most of Alita's history as a soldier is in. Well, she does have flashbacks, obviously, but a lot of that is in the Mars Chronicles. So now a lot of the Mars Chronicles is her as a little kid, So I mean, there's not a whole lot in there. But what we do see, most of it is in the Mars Chronicles, and then of course there's that video that I forget who produced that thing, but it talks about the Great War, the fall, and what Alita was like 17 when she started training in the military, and then ended up coming to Earth and fighting against the Earth Defense Force, and stuff like that, And that's what she's actually doing there on the left. You see, she's on that. You guys remember that from the movie. They're going up that supply tube to attack Zalem, she was right beside Gelda. So, we've talked about this on prior streams that, Alita was probably second in command in that. Actually, it's not a platoon. It looks like to be about a couple of squads or something like that. Although we don't know what happened. I mean, it might have started out as a platoon and half of them got killed. It could be that. Platoon generally has 32 soldiers in it, plus or minus 5 or something like that. But, so she was in, at this point, I think there was maybe 2 squads left, which would be anywhere from 8 to 12 soldiers. So if she was in a platoon, which, Gelda is probably at the very least would be commanding a platoon, then probably anywhere from 18 to 20 of her fellow soldiers were probably killed, up to this point, And then, of course, knowing the movie like we do, then, of course, we know that at least to the point to where that supply tube, where that fence ring came down. It killed all the rest of them except Alita and Gelda. So so they were the last two. And then of course we can only surmise that Gelda and Alita were captured, and you know, Alita, we don't know what happened to Gelda, but Alita, you know, was actually thrown off of either Zalem or Jeru, one of the two, you know, and there's two different versions of that. Either way, she had to fall a long way, you know, before she ended up in the scrapyard. So probably ultimately she was probably the only one in her unit that survived, you know, and of course Zalem was the only sky city that survived. You know, the other 11 sky cities came down, you know.
What if Gelda's still alive? And at the end of the third movie, Alita has to fight her because she switched and mind controlled, or maybe she's tuned now.
Okay. Well, was Gelda now? See, I don't remember seeing this in the. I haven't read volume 7 yet of Mars Chronicles. Maxie keeps saying he thinks it's Gelda that's in 7. And I say, please don't spoil it for me. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, let's see if Maxie's in. I'm in the. No, Maxie's not here. So anyway, make sure he wasn't backstage. But you know, was Gelda? Dan, is she a Necro soldier now, or what is she, or was she at the after all this?
In Mars Chronicle, no, she's not a Necro soldier, not that we know of. Because there's not two continuities, but we're following two timelines in Mars Chronicle. That's the child Alita, and then there's also the adult Alita timeline. That story is being told simultaneously. The Necro soldier thing comes in because this is of course 200 years later in the future with the adult Alita timeline. Yep. And for Erica to be there, of course, something fucking weird has to have happened to her. So that's why that's there. And the Gelda thing that Max is talking about is happening in the child timeline.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's in volume 7 toward the end of that one. I do know that Erica is a Necro soldier. I know that was in volume 6. I think Alita and Erica fought each other, and you know, Alita tells Erica that, you know, I killed you 200 years ago and you're now a Necro soldier or something like this. And
it's an extremely anime reveal. It's extremely anime-like, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That I really like that arc. You know, that's pretty cool, you know. And then of course, as a soldier, and I think you guys probably remember back maybe a couple of months ago, we compared Alita to Todd. You know, Todd 3465, I think was his number. How similar they were, you know. So she had to go through some pretty strenuous training. She had to learn Panzerkunst as a soldier because she didn't, you know, in most of the Mars Chronicles in which she's a kid, you know, she obviously didn't have or didn't know Panzerkunst at that point. She only could know Panzerkunst after, you know, she grew up and, you know, got in the armed military and, you know, joined the Commer group and all that, because she was in like a special operations, which I assume that all of those soldiers you see her there in the left are all berserkers, but I don't know about that. You know, she's the only one, her and Gelda were the only two not wearing helmets. You know, and I guess Gelda was in command, and probably Alita was second in command or something like this. So, but anyway, of course, we all know all the rest of those berserkers got killed. And then, of course, as we've also said in previous streams, is that, you know, Panzerkunst, they learn how to fight in 0G. So it's kind of unique if you think if it was a real martial art, which of course it isn't. You know, but if it was a real martial art and you learn to fight in 0G and you fight some Den, you could probably speak to this probably better than I could. But, you know, on Earth, you know, gravity kind of helps us, you know, in terms of stance and being able to, you know, throw kicks and, you know, stuff like this. But in 0G, you don't have anything like that. So you would have to have some pretty extreme techniques to generate enough power to actually injure someone if you were fighting them in 0G.
Well, that's where the cyborg body comes in.
Yes.
Martial arts, fighting, that kind of stuff. Because when you say martial arts, it's kind of a loaded term. People think of only
Yeah.
Taekwondo and Kung Fu, but really martial arts to me is anything from swords to guns. Shooting is a martial art because martial means the use of war, or of war or whatever. But anyway, yeah, a lot of fighting, learning how to fight is basically the exploitation of physics, gravity, your weight, your body weight. So when you have 0G, you're gonna have to exploit that in a different way. And of course, that's why Panzer Kunz is uniquely linked to the cyborg body, because I don't know. Listen, I'm no physicist, okay? I do all my boxing shit on fucking Earth, so I wouldn't know. And I've never built a robot, but I would guess that a robot would be able to generate some sort of force or thrust without having to push down on the ground. You know what I mean? Because that's really all it is. I mean, you see in Muay Thai, they kick the legs a lot. You wonder, what would that do? That takes away a lot of the force from your punches because, again, you're pushing off of the earth. So, Panzer Kunz, I would say that's uniquely linked to the cyborg body because I would think that a cyborg body would be able to generate that sort of force and thrust, especially since metal is much denser than human bones. Yeah. And it is something that you see in like Dragon Ball too. Goku's better at fighting on the ground than he is fighting in the air. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just the interesting thing I see in Panzer Kunz.
Well, I tell you, Dan, though, I think, it's not, I won't call them sports, although they are sports, but like, I think boxing, wrestling, savate, I think those are all martial arts, every single one of them. Anything that has to do with fighting, to me is a martial art. And the reason why I think that is because you can learn that and you can express yourself as a warrior or a fighter through that martial art and your knowledge of it,
Well, that's what I was saying. I think the term martial art is loaded, as in it's too limited in what most people think about. They think about Kung Fu and Taekwondo, but like you said, savate, which is French kickboxing, wrestling is absolutely a martial art. It's one of the oldest. Boxing and wrestling and MMA are the three oldest martial arts. People think of Kung Fu being ancient and all that. No, boxing, wrestling, and MMA are the three oldest. MMA is in pancration. Like I said, shooting, guns. You see these IDPA matches and long distance shooting and all that stuff. That's the current martial art because martial, again, means of war. And the way our wars are fought right now are with firearms. So that is the current martial art,
Well, and that's not the only weapons either. I mean, there's nunchucks, there's the bow, there's which is a staff kind of looking thing. Like you said, swords, there's what's called the sai, there's those two. They kind of look like a combination of a knife and a sword, and they're probably about 12 inches long, that kind of thing. Learning how to use those weapons is also part of martial arts. Because I know when I was in karate many years ago, my specialty in terms of weapons was the nunchucks, because I could, I would compete in tournaments, with the nunchucks, I did that. So, it's more of a sport in that particular case, but, it's still a martial art because it's a weapon that you can injure people with that thing,
I think the art side of it basically denotes like a discipline, you know what I mean? A style of discipline. Because anything can be martial. I pick up a rock and slam it in your head. That's martial. You know what I mean? When it comes to the art side, that's the discipline. So now do I form a discipline around smashing rocks into people's heads? That's now a martial art. So of course, nunchucks, bow staffs, all that's martial arts, And I don't know. It's just I love talking martial arts.
Yeah. Ash Blackwind brings up a good point for humans that 0G does weaken your muscles. It does do that because that's why astronauts have to get on, like a treadmill that's got some resistance bands on it. They got
But that's over time, though, not immediately.
That's over time. That's right. But it still weakens muscles. But a cyborg doesn't really have any kind of organic muscles. I mean, like Alita, as an example, she is over 90% machine, and the only part of her that is human, of course, is going to be her brain. And we've had some discussion of whether the skin on her face, whether it is synthetic or not. that would be kind of an organic part of her, and her hair would also be considered probably organic, although that is probably synthetic, and I would assume that in the case of Alita, where, if you remember back in the Terminator series, how Kyle Reese, told, Sarah Connor that they grew skin and eyeballs and or at least covered their I guess cameras and their hair is all grown for the cyborg. So if they, now if you want to kind of extrapolate that, if they could grow, that kind of organic material to mimic a human, or at least to, kind of disguise a machine being a human. Think about what the technology of anywhere from 200 to 500 years in the future would be able to do, But in terms of the rest of Alita, from her neck down, basically, or just a little bit below her neck, that's machine. I mean, it's like robot, actually, although she's not a robot, but her heart is an example, that, as we all know, that is an antimatter microreactor. There is no human being. There is even no robots running around, or androids running around, or cyborgs even today, that have that kind of power source, for their heart, So I guess, Ash, my point would be is, that would be, over a long period of time, like Dan says, 0G would weaken your muscles. But in the case of Alita, she doesn't have those kind of muscles. Her muscles are all machine. Now, in terms of Goku, and it's funny you bring up Goku, because Dan and I watched 3 more, episodes of Goku, of Dragon Ball Z Kai last night. And one of the things that you kind of bring up makes me remember that Vegeta was actually training in 300G. So, that's pretty wild. I mean, of course,
Anything Kakarot can do, I can do 3 times better.
Yeah,
he's got the short man attitude.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. But anyway, but you're right, Ash. If you're a human, you can't stay in 0G long, very long, or else your muscles will atrophy.
And that's the thing. That's not really unique to zero gravity.
Rush too. Your spinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will. If you're in 0G for a period of time.
Now that's not really unique to zero gravity, because that happens on Earth too. If you just sit down way too long, your muscles atrophy. Your muscles and your bones become more brittle.
Yes.
Loading your muscles and bones causes them to be stronger. Yep. So if you want to be less likely to break a leg, get out and do some sprints, do some squats. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just my G.I. Joe PSA at the end of the episode for the day.
Yeah. Do not stand by. Do you have any experience with martial arts? I meant to ask you that one time before, but because you certainly, you certainly know a lot about Alita's abilities, So I didn't know if you had taken any kind of martial arts.
Yeah, I personally haven't trained in martial arts. My daughter did Bushidan for several years. But I'm a big fan of martial arts movies. I recently watched a Jet Li movie called Fearless with my daughter. And in that one, he's got nunchucks with 3 bars rather than just 2 bars and a chain.
Oh, wow.
I loved Fearless. That was a great movie.
Yeah, and he was fighting against a Japanese competitor who had a Japanese sword. And they accidentally ended up disarming each other at the same time, and they had to switch weapons. And the Japanese warrior had a really hard time with the 3-bar nunchucks, because that's not something people typically train in.
Yeah, there was another movie I liked. I watched, kind of did this kind of bass backwards, as they would say, but I watched that 4th IP Man, or Ip Man, where he fights. Is it Scott Adkins? I think is in that movie. I can't remember now, but where he plays, a drill sergeant, and he knows karate, and it's one of those kind of almost like a 70s film where it's the old kung fu versus karate thing, kind of like, the Bruce Lee movies were a little bit like that, but, it was pretty authentic, in terms of the moves. And Scott Adkins is actually a practitioner. He's not just an actor that learns, so he can do movies. He is actually a practitioner of the martial arts, and I don't remember. Is it Kyokushin karate he does? Dan, I can't remember now. I don't
I
know.
don't know specifically. You'd have to ask David because David's a big fan of him. But if it's Kyokushin karate, that's
Yeah,
definitely a badass martial art right there.
yeah, it is. It is. You know. And then, of course, Dizzy. I knew Dizzy had some martial arts training, you know, in a mullet. Oh, that's wild, Dizzy. Anyway, ninjutsu, you know, that's a martial art. You know, it's kind of a, you know, covert, you know, type stuff. So anyway, Dizzy, you know, Dizzy, you ought to come on. You know, you can talk about some of this stuff too. You know, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the chat, and you can come on if you want. There it is, Diz, right there. So you can click on it. So anyway, got kind of off track a little bit. That's okay. That's what we do here. I would say that Alita is probably a very good soldier. She's not a, you know, she's not a green boot right out of boot camp. You know, I mean, you know, certainly she had to learn like everybody else, but you know, all her, you know, fellow, you know, warriors or soldiers certainly did, you know, but you know, she's accomplished warrior. She's not a, you know, just, you're not somebody that's green, you know, that's never fought, you know, and obviously you can see that in that picture on the left, you know, where she's basically second in command of that squad there. I would say, though, on the right, that I think she was younger in that particular, you know, sequence that you see there, because Gelda is actually training her. And, you know, Gelda, you know, actually, I think we talked about this in a stream here not too long ago, but Gelda was actually, you know, as far advanced over Alita in terms of ability, because she's, you know, of when Alita was a little girl, you know, when she was just a little, you know, 3 or 4 year old girl, Gelda, you know, was a, you know, kind of a master, you know, type of warrior. You know, I mean, she was extremely accomplished, lots of, you know, lots of experience. And then we all remember that scene where, you know, that these soldiers tried to make Erica and Alita walk across the minefield. And I forget, there were like 6 of them or something like that. And Gelda comes and rescues them, and all by herself. She took out all 6 of those soldiers by herself. And, you know, granted, now this is fictitious stuff. Well, I get that, you know, but think about it, if that was real, how good a fighter she would have to be to take out 6 trained soldiers by herself. So that kind of gives you an idea, you know, about, you know, Gelda's ability and how it's much greater than Alita's, you know, at least Alita in the military. Now, when Alita gets her Imaginos body, of course, it's a little different story, you know. So any thoughts about this? Do Not Stand By, or Dan? Dan,
Yeah.
I know, Do Not Stand By. Were you ever in the military?
No, I never was in the military, but
Okay.
I was just going to say that in the manga, it shows Alita being the perfect soldier to a fault. That
Yeah.
he even becomes horrified by that memory of what she used to be, where
Yeah.
she was so committed to the cause that she was willing to commit atrocities. And,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and
She, what was the name of that kind of that incident that she did? I can't remember. We've talked about it, where literally millions of people were killed. She was at the center of it. I can't remember the name of that thing now. We talked about it on a stream here about 2 months ago, I guess. I think Maxie knew more about it. You know, he remembered it better than I do. But yeah, she, yeah, you're right. And you know, you wonder if she got PTSD from that, because you know, when it's kind of like what Den has said in past. You know, that actually when Ito, you know, kind of got her reintegrated with another body, and she had lost all her memory. And I think that may have been, if you look at the Nova Malwolf. That's right, Maxie. Maxie, you can come on. I sent you a link. Anyway, you know, yeah. You know, Alita, you know, kind of remembered that, and it probably bothered her quite a bit. And she had I guess, Dan, I guess you put it best. She had the gift of being able to not remember that stuff, you know, because it was going to give her, you know, some nightmares and PTSD and stuff like that. And then, of course, her effort to figure out who she is, you know, that kind of brings back all those memories, and it kind of puts her back where she was. And she just, you know, I think it just kind of, I think her brain was kind of messed up in terms of her memory and all that. I don't mean messed up organically. I mean, you know, just from what she remembered. So any thoughts about that? Do Not Stand By or Dan?
Yeah, I think that it is a gift to her that she forgot her past life and she got to um, be reborn, in a sense that she could still remember her fighting skills instinctively, but she got to start over again as having a loving family in Edo, and being able to be a teenager, and she didn't have that in her former life as a soldier. So I think, referring back to Ash's comment, I think that's why she said, "I'm a warrior, aren't I?" rather than "I'm a soldier," because
Yeah,
she's different now. She doesn't have the memories of being trained as a soldier, but she has that instinct to be a warrior. So I think that's the distinction between being a warrior and a soldier. And I think Kishiro mentioned that he wanted Alita to be a Ronin, in that
yeah,
she had no loyalty to some bigger cause now, that she was
yeah,
completely acting on her own morals. Um, so,
yeah,
so warrior is probably a better term for her in her
yeah.
life.
I think it's a better term for her when she gets, you know, revived or resuscitated or reintegrated, whatever you want to call it, you know, in Iron City by Ito. But I think, you know, during the fall and all that, she fought, she was a soldier, you know. Now she was a damn good one. There's no doubt about it, you know. And I guess you could say her abilities were warrior level, you know, master, you know, warrior level almost. We've had some discussion about that too, whether she was a high warrior or a warrior. Originally, I thought maybe she was just a warrior, but I think I've evolved on that a little bit. Maxie's kind of browbeat me a few times, so I kind of agree with him now. I think she was probably a high warrior, you know, and that Gelda was a licensed master, you know, or something like that. So she's quite accomplished. So yeah, I guess in a very real way, you know, she was a warrior. But you know, it's kind of like the old thing, you know, all warriors, you know, at least those that are like in a military like that or something like that, they are soldiers. But not all soldiers are warriors. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, somebody fresh out of boot camp is not going to have the abilities that Alita had. You know. So anyway, just my thought on that one. Now, Den, I think you've trained some of these badasses, haven't you, in martial arts? You know, maybe policemen or something like that. Is that right? I think he might have stepped away because of his dogs or something. So, but anyway, with Alita, you know, like I say, she had to go through a boot camp more than likely. Now we don't have a lot on that. And Maxie, I've finally read your 5th volume of your fanfic, and I've also read about 1/3 of volume 7, but I haven't had a chance to read any more than that at this point. Oh, there's Maxie. There's Maxie. Good day, mate.
Morning. Well, it's morning
Yeah,
here.
morning. Yeah, that's right. So for you people in the future, it's morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about it, you know, Lita as a soldier, you know, is that, yeah, she's a soldier, but she's a warrior, you know, not, you know, all warriors are soldiers, but all soldiers are not warriors, you know, because if they're green, you know, they're right out of boot camp, they're not near as accomplished as Alita is at war, you know, so.
Well, there's some interesting statistics. Well, I say statistics, but they're more anecdotal because you
Yeah,
know people are just saying what happened. But when they interviewed survivors of battles in World War II, they actually quite a number of them admitted to just shooting their guns, not trying to aim at anybody because they didn't want to kill.
yeah,
So you know, a lot of the rank and file, when it came down to it, just couldn't bear, you know, aiming at somebody and shooting at them unless their life depended on it.
Yeah.
So in just general combat, they would just be firing their gun. They wouldn't actually be trying to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Because they weren't killers. They were just people who were dragged into a war.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that kind of was on probably both sides, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, the Allies and the Axis, they probably, you know, soldiers on both sides didn't want to kill people, you know, but they're there. It's kind of like Just Fans saying here, you know, so, you know, a lot of those folks are drafted and they just, you know, I don't want to be here. Whereas Alita loves that stuff, you know, at least when she was, you know, in the fall and all that stuff. Well, even as a hunter warrior, she loves it. But
well, it comes down to the difference between training and indoctrination. If you're trained, you know how, but you still, you know, have the decision-making capability. If you're indoctrinated, then you're convinced pretty much that killing the enemy is what has to happen.
Yeah,
and you do it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Alita was indoctrinated in the making.
Yes. Yeah. I think Alita was very much, well, you know, in, I guess here in the States and probably in other militaries, the term gung ho comes into mind, you know, about how, you know, how she's enthusiastic about it, you know, and it's like you say, she is indoctrinated. So, yeah.
Well, she willingly went in there on a suicide mission to destroy those ships, knowing that there were thousands of people on board.
Yeah.
And she did it because she believed it had to be done to protect Mars.
Yeah.
My feeling is, and you know, we've got nothing from Kichiro to say this is the case, but my feeling is that where Erica is, you know, a bit of a psychopath, is willing to, you know, kill pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Erica might have balked at the idea of killing that many people.
Yeah.
Because it was just, you know, boggled her mind. Whereas Alita, once indoctrinated, didn't see it as killing people. She saw it as saving Mars. And they may have had a difference of opinion about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's the difference between being committed or being indoctrinated and then just being trained. So of course, Alita is highly trained. I mean, you know, she's an expert at Panzerkunst. You know, she's you know, she can fight in 0G. She knows weapons. You know, I mean, it's she is the soldier's soldier, is what she is, or the soldier's warrior. So. Oh, Max, before we get too much further, I wanted to show you something.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
You've got it.
Yeah.
It's in the bar.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I haven't done any more reading. Because
fair enough.
Man, Kunstler really packed that thing, boy. It took me an hour and a half to get that sign out of that crate that he put it in.
But it got to you in perfect condition, though.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what's cool about it is that you see the Kansas bar there, that sign is blue. Now, it's all light here still. You know, when it gets dark, I'm going to take another picture, you know, make it look more like the Kansas bar. And eventually I was telling everybody that the window behind me there, you know, I'm going to, you know, kind of put a solid background behind that. So, you know, when we make it dark, it's going to look more, you know, I guess the ambiance is going to be more like the Kansas bar. It's going to be darker, you know, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, yeah, boy, it's cool. And what's neat about that sign, as I was telling them, is that Kunstler he put a kind of like a little appliance in that sign that, you know, it's got like Bluetooth on it, and you can change the color of that sign. Now, I'm going to leave it blue, you know, because that was the color of the Kansas bar sign, you know, in the movie. But I can make that thing green. I can make it red. I can make it yellow. I can make it all kinds of colors.
Can you make it purple?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can make it purple, you know, and it's really cool. You know, you just get your phone and, you know, you call up the app and you can just dial in the color you want. You know, it's got a little wheel that you spin around, you know, that you can, you know, it's got, you know, touch it and it, you know, goes to that color, and then that's it right there. You know, I mean, yeah, the unpacking of that thing was much longer than the installing it. The installing it was about 30 minutes, I think, so.
Did you have power handy or did you have to run a cable?
Well, I don't know if you can see it very well, but you see there's like you probably see an extension cord, and I'm going to fix that. I was just telling everybody that I literally got that sign up 15 minutes before the stream. So, I mean, it was kind of,
So it's fresh.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to fix that where you don't see those cables like that, as well, and I'm probably always going to be able to see some of it, but if you look down on the right there where I got all those beer mugs and all that stuff, there's there's an outlet down there that that are sorry American electricity, which is only 110 and 15 amps, but it's still it'll still push that sign pretty well, so.
Well, LEDs don't need a lot.
Yeah, that's right. So
you always have a step down transformer for them anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So, and those are LEDs. So,
yep.
But that is the coolest thing. It was like, I'm hoping Jeff, when he's going to come on later, but it's like when I was undoing that crate, it was like Christmas, unwrapping a Christmas present. That's what it was like,
It looks like it's the perfect size for the room too. Anything bigger and it would just dominate too much.
Yeah, it is. It's about half the size of the actual Kansas bar sign. So, and it's not, it's not concrete or anything like that. It's really plywood, but he's got it covered with something that makes it look like concrete. So if I was to turn that sign off, it would look gray, just like, concrete, kind of like it does, in the movie, so.
Yeah.
He's
done an excellent job.
Oh, absolutely. He did a great job on this, and I'm hoping that this helps him. He wants to start a little side business doing signs like that, and other, other things. I hope that helps him, I tell you, it was worth every penny. That sign, I think that sign cost like, not counting shipping and all, but it was just under $3,000. So, and it's worth every penny. I'm telling you. So.
Can't wait to see it in person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So please, I gotta get going. I can smell my daughter's cooking. So.
Yeah, I should have gone up to Arvada. So anyway, all right. Do not stand by. I'm glad you joined for as long as you could. Anyway.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the stream.
Okay, man. We'll see you.
See you. Bye.
So anyway, we get back past all this. So I guess Den was talking about this a little while ago that we, and I agree with him, that martial arts itself, in the American culture anyway, or Western culture, tends to think of martial arts as like kung fu or karate or something like that. And it is martial arts, but there's more to martial arts than just fighting with your hands and feet. It also involves weapons, and we know Alita is really good with weapons. She's an expert with firearms. Now we don't see a lot of that in the movie. The only time we see her, kind of shoot a firearm is when she storms the factory and she rips that big old 600-pound Gatling gun, which, by the way, I was watching that, Maxie, the other night, and she's actually holding that gun. Her hand is on top of that gun holding it. I thought she was holding it like on the side, The fact that she's holding it on top like that, her grip has got to be ungodly strong, and the fact she's holding it like that, I'm going to have to revise my estimate on that. I think she's stronger than being able to curl 800 pounds, because if you look at the shot, of her, there's a shot of her, and it's just, if you freeze it, you see how she's holding it, with her hand is holding on top of the gun, not on the side or underneath.
Well, grip strength is based on the muscles in the forearm, whereas curl strength is based on the muscles in the upper arm. So,
yeah, but I don't know. It's complicated. It doesn't take necessarily a strong person to at least take some recoils from like an AA-12.
Yeah.
select fire 12 gauge shotgun. But then again, the AA-12 has gas vents that reduce the recoil.
I didn't know you were a gun guy, Chaos.
I don't know. I don't know everything.
Do you
Just-
remember in my Alita, my second Alita and Keanu video, my Alita and John Wick video, I put the clip of the guy shooting the AA-12 and then his shoulder absolutely just like shoots out of its socket.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
well, welcome to the stream, Chaos. I didn't welcome
Thank
you.
you.
I believe that. So anyway,
I mean, I know some people don't like Terminator 3, but there was it's kind of similar to that part in Terminator 3 where I believe it's T-850 like takes one of the, I think it's T-1s and just rips its own arm off and just starts firing it himself.
yeah, just a fan. I'm not sure about that, about holding on top is easier on the side. I mean, I know personally from just doing curls, and the way I curl, you can curl a couple of ways. You can do what's called the T curl, which you have your hands under the dumbbells and you kind of pull it up, or you can have them like perpendicular to your body, or not perpendicular, parallel to your body, and you can it works what's called the brachialis muscle. But having it on top like that, I kind of agree with Maxie that it maybe takes a little bit off of your biceps.
Well,
but
you've also
that
got
grip,
repeated recoil.
yeah. Well, that
I mean,
grip,
it's different firing. It's different, when you have a shotgun, you just have to pump, usually you just pump to reload it, and you can make sure it's positioned in your shoulder the correct way.
yeah.
But if you're firing like full auto, it's a little different. Now some guns suppress the recoil with springs or with vents, but not all of them.
Yeah,
But
just
she's firing, huge bullets, full automatic right there.
yeah. Well, that's 100 caliber.
And it's a fact. It's a fact that when filming Predator, even Jesse Ventura had cables helping him to stay steady while firing that thing.
Yeah, and he had I'm not sure, might have been a 30 caliber chain gun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that gun
Mini
that
gun,
Alita's holding there, that gun is 100 caliber gun. I mean, I was able to calculate that by just judging from her height, which I know is 4'11". And then, I could calculate.
Well, Rosa, I think Rosa's like 5'2", 5'3". So
Yeah, but I mean, Alita's 4'11", though. I mean, she's playing Alita.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think Rose is actually 5'3", I think, but yeah, she's playing Alita, who's 4'11". So, 4'11". So, and I was able to calculate this being a 100 caliber gun by looking how big Alita, how tall she is, and then kind of minutely measuring and comparing it to her height, and then I was able to estimate it was a 100 caliber gun. Oh, by the way, Just Fan, I do have a kettlebell. I got one of those adjustable kettlebells, and I enjoy that thing a lot. I mean, I have it here in my home gym. So
I got those too. I love those.
Yeah. I love those things. Yeah, you're right, Just Fan. I am going to try that. I've never really tried to curl that with my hand on top of the kettlebell. I mean, it has to be on top, but I mean with my wrist over. One of the things I think that helps me when I do deadlifts, when I'm in competition, I use overhand grip on all my deadlifts, even the heavy ones, because my grip is fairly strong, I guess. But anyway, most people when they do deadlifts, they'll do like one hand under and one hand over. Well, for me it felt awkward, so anyway, I just kind of pull it, on the top. I'm over the top, on the sides and all that stuff. So anyway, it's like Den was saying a while ago, Alita, part of martial arts is being able to use weapons, and we're not talking about just ancient Chinese weapons either. I mean, certainly a plasma weapon is not an ancient Chinese weapon, and neither is a gun. Now, I will say this: the Chinese, of course, I guess the legend is, or the prevailing thought is they developed gunpowder before anybody else. Now, how that works out, I'm not sure about that. But
they invented gunpowder. We invented rifling.
Yeah, that's right. We
Yeah.
spinning that inside the rifle or inside the barrel, made the bullet fly truer, because they used to just shoot any balls, and it would kind of
Right, but
be
the
like
crazy thing about the process is because they had some towers out in Kansas City, is that they literally they melt the lead like 150 feet above the ground and drop it down this tower into the water, and because of the fall, it would form an almost perfect sphere by the time it hit water, and
Yeah.
it would it would mold a perfect sphere in the water.
Yeah, Ash, you're absolutely right. The Creek does love looking at that Gatling gun scene and calculating how strong she is and her ability to curl 800 pounds and all that. Yeah, I probably go through that a little too much, but I do agree with you. I like her looking cool. She looks cool when she's firing that thing, man.
Hey, Creaky,
yeah.
did you know you're wrong?
Oh, I'm wrong.
Yep.
How am I
Alita
wrong?
fires a gun. She fires a plasma rifle on the cable in her flashback.
Oh yeah, she does. But that Gatling gun, though, is a projectile weapon. So,
but martial means combat. It doesn't mean projectile weapons. It means any sort of weapon.
Any weapon.
It counts.
Well, any weapon could be considered a training and usage of any weapon could be considered a martial art.
I'm kind of jealous of that movie from years back called Equilibrium, where they had all these crazy styles in the movie about how
gun kata.
About how you fire guns systematically to hit all targets.
As fun as that movie was, and it's so ridiculous looking. It's great to look at though.
I like the sword duel at the end.
Just like the Kardashians say.
Oh Lord!
I mean, some would say that they're still pretty fun to look at, just not to listen to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Alita is an expert with weapons. There's no doubt about that. Certainly that plasma weapon. She has that inherent. That's an inherent weapon right there. That's not external to her. Although in her motorball body, Maxie, I think we did determine that it is external to her, and that Damascus blade has some kind of plasma generating capability, doesn't it? And she can still.
Well, it depends on the media. It really depends on the media, because in the video game Martial Memory, it gets weird. It gets even more weird when you see how like Den or Chaos flame up the sword when they're using it, almost as if they like mentally do it somehow. I mean, Den's a machine, but the other guy kind of only partially.
Well, you should know, Chaos. You're partly Den, aren't you? At least the character that Chaos manga. So
maybe
it's like Jekyll and Hyde, man.
Or Bruce Banner Hulk, I guess.
Yes. But Alita, though, in the anime, I remember seeing that. And I've only watched the anime one time, and she split. What's his name? Grusika? Is that how they pronounce it?
Yeah,
she split him in half, and she didn't have any sword. Yeah, she took care of him without a sword, and she had that plasma weapon. So I think, and the fact that when you see Alita. When that plasma also engulfs her hand, that tells me that in her berserker body that she can generate plasma from within. Well, and you saw it when she was showing off the berserker body to Ito and Gerhard. She had no sword there, and she was just generating it. So because I remember the look on Gerhard's face, like, oh crap, I mean, she was legitimately scared. I think of that thing, so. And of course she, there's that edge, what they call that, Maxie, that where she's on the upper right-hand corner here, what they call that, the something edge, not something to do with a razor edge or something like that.
I'm not sure what the context is.
Well, no, they call that the way she mounts it on her forearm like that. It's got a term.
There's a fighting style for it.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah. So anyway,
Give me
but
a minute, I can
Alita,
probably find that.
and I do know in the manga, she has various guns. She has that one big ass gun that she has that, God, I can't remember the name of that thing either. It's not the,
Solenoid Wench Cannon.
yeah, that's right. And she knows how to operate that thing. So as a matter of fact, she had that sentient gun too, didn't she? That I can't remember the name of
The
that critter.
talking one, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
She had Danko. She had the 50 cal.
Danko,
She had Gabriel, the drone. Which, if you want to talk malignant, let's not talk about Gabriel. She had lots of weapons actually, and the weapons get really crazy as you get in the Last Order. Actually, I started a video series where I named the inspiration for every weapon in the manga. That got tedious, so I didn't finish it.
Okay, electric arc moving through the air equals plasma. Well, I don't know. What's our scientists say about that, Maxie? Is that true?
Sorry, I was looking something else up for you. What was the question?
Isn't that just ionized gas is what makes plasma?
Plasma is
Yeah.
ionized gas, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure an electric arc by itself, just a fan would create plasma.
You would need to sustain it most likely.
Yeah, you got to superheat that thing to the point where
Because
it
a
knocks the
lightning bolt's
electrons
only
off.
temporary.
Yeah. It's a
Think of it as
badass weapon.
like a Tesla coil. You have a constant arc running.
Yeah. See, I know, Kira, about 3 weeks ago, we talked about, Alita's plasma weapon is so potent that she could probably beat Thanos with it if he didn't have all the stones. That's especially in her Imaginos body, Thanos with that plasma weapon, he's going to be up against it, unless he's got all the stones, he's going to be up against it with her. Cause she don't need that sword either. She can generate that plasma, just from within her, so in other words, she could punch him and have that plasma, kind of like she did in the novelization where she had Zapan pinned up against the wall, and he was kind of looking at her fist, that was held up, kind of like it was in the movie, I guess. And he saw that, what he called, I think, a blue flame or something like that. And he was uneasy about that, So, but
yeah, I'll put in footage from Martian Memory to show you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
About how other characters seem to flame up their swords.
Yeah, can you share your screen on that, Chaos?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Just a minute. I'll send a link to at least to a copy of the video real quick.
Yeah, Justifan is right, though. Plasma is a state of matter, so he's absolutely right about that. It's. Yeah, it's that gas. I guess it doesn't. It's superheated to the point to where the electrons are escaping. And that's pretty damn hot. So, Chaos, you there?
I'm here. I'm just finding the link here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
for a second.
I found a creaky. It's called. And now I'm probably slaughtering the German pronunciation of this, but Ellbogenballett, elbow blade.
Yeah, elbow blade. That's right.
The Panzerkunst art of wielding elbow blades. Elite's preferred weapon. Considered part of the Mauser school.
Yes. Yeah, elbow blade. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ellbogenblatt.
And she, there you see it in the upper right corner there. She never uses it, in the movie, but that gives you the idea that she can use it. She's adept at that technique.
She uses it in my novelization.
Yes, she does. She used it in chapter 5. So I'm now halfway through, Max.
Yeah. Did you halfway through what I've written? I've still got to write some more.
Yeah. Oh, I like how she fights, Joshua Gunn and how that ends at the end, to me, Joshigan had got, well, they respected each other. I mean, I think you said that in the fanfic, but it's like, he says, I guess, well, I don't want to spoil it because we want people to read it. Now I'll put the link in there, but, he actually welcomes her to come with him, up to this, whatever, so that's so much I'm going to say.
The winner's podium.
Yeah. The winner's podium, and, that's pretty cool, I think,
I kind of figured that, like at the end of the Formula One racing, they'd have a winner's podium and they get showered with praise and so forth and so on.
Yeah. I don't remember that from the actual novelization that they had that. I don't think they did. They don't talk about
Well,
it.
she never finished the one race she was in.
Yes.
She
that's
left
right.
partway through.
Well, in the movie, she didn't either. She had to go rescue Hugo, boy, which kind of, which tells you, golly, here she is trying to compete in this thing, and Hugo's a pain in the ass, and she's got to go rescue him. So so of course, Zapan
huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, he is. But Zapan, is trying to frame him and all that shit. So I guess and she loves him, so she's gonna.
All right, I've just got it here.
Cool.
All right.
What the hell are you watching?
Well, he's pulling up her using the plasma weapon. I think Chaos. Is that right?
Yeah, or at least she creates this blue flame with the sword.
Yeah.
I don't have the aura book. There's also obviously that they don't do the whole Chaos becomes Dr. Manhattan thing in the game either. He's more of just like a operator / guide that gives kind of philosophical lectures, which is interesting, but I don't know. I like the fact they did it a little differently.
What I'll do is
because it was a little ridiculous because he made a copy of himself to go talk to Den while simultaneously going to pick a fight with Nova. What are the limits on this guy? I mean, obviously, it kind of compensates for him being a wimp for such a long time, but it was weird.
Well, there's the link that Chaos put in. You guys can click on that and go to the 34-minute mark, and you see it. So you can go check that out. So, any other thoughts on this? I mean, Den, I think we talked about on one of your streams on one of those little side stories about how she was working for a Toon program, and I guess this Deckman had escaped or something like that, and she assassinates him, shoots him from a long range or something like that. Which, of course, that's one of those little side stories. But, I tend to think, if Kishiro writes it, it's got to be meaningful in my mind, But, that just speaks again to her, her ability with weapons. I mean, she was accomplished enough to wait for the way that happened was, I guess the Deckman was kind of playing with kids or something like that. And they were on the beach, weren't they? Or something like that. So anyway,
she followed him all the way to the coast.
Yeah. And he's playing with the kids go off and she shoots him, bam, right through the head, and, it was kind of a long shot too. So she's pretty accomplished, No, I never was a mechanical engineer. I did start out in college as electrical engineer. I started out with that and then switched to computer science. Back when computers were the abacus. So that's there's a little bit more to it than that, but Okay, any more thought on Alita's expertise with weaponry? I mean, she's pretty good. I mean, as a fighter too. I mean, she took down all those Centurions in 15 seconds. God.
I guess the other thing I'd mentioned about Den as a boss fight in Martian Memories, he also in the game, and according to the mechanics, you can actually plasma attack him and he'll just block it without any damage. So it's
He must have some really heavy heat resistant material, you know, to be able to do that, because, you know, it's like we were saying a while ago, you know, plasma is, you know, superheated, you know, gas basically is what it is. And it's a fourth state of matter. So, I mean, you'd have to have some pretty resilient or pretty resistant material to be able to just swat it off like that, I would think.
Well, block it with a sword, yeah, but
Yeah,
you got to
yeah,
consider that there's nothing proportional about it. I mean, Chaos like completely reacted to a person moving a sword at like Mach 2 at his head, and he stopped it.
yeah. Hoka hey, Dizzy.
Hoka hey. Freaking
An Aussie saying Hoka hey. I never thought I'd hear that.
hey, did I get it right?
Yeah, you did. You got it perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the story behind Hoka hey, right?
Nah.
It's what it was is when I don't know if you guys know anything about George Armstrong Custer. You know, he led like 200 soldiers against this Indian camp, American Indian camp, and he was really he had a lot of hubris. He was arrogant and all this kind of stuff, and he decided that he was going to attack this Indian camp, which had many different tribes in it. And there were like over 4,000 warriors in there. And he just thought he was going to kind of ride over them with 200 guys, you know. And of course, to make a long story painfully longer, he actually ended up getting killed. But what the Indians, and there was Lakota, there was Cheyenne, there was Arapaho. There were several different tribes in there, and they were all kind of all together, you know. And it was like it was in July of that year, and that kind of thing like that. And it was just kind of a mass, you know, of just a whole bunch of indigenous folks, you know, and with a lot of warriors. And those warriors were saying Hoka hey as they attacked them, and it's basically what you say. It's like a war cry. Hoka hey, it's a good day to die, you know. So yeah.
So that's where the Klingon statement came from.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's a good day to die. Yeah, that's in Star Trek exactly. You know, you hear Worf say it a couple.
There's also a funny joke song in the Star Troopers movies. Like, it's a good day to die when you know the reason why. Citizens, we fight for what is right.
Yeah. You know, Ash Blackwin, I tell you, you know, I you know, Dan, you can probably talk to this better than I can, but Aikido, I don't know about Aikido.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah,
I've gotten in so much trouble over the years talking about Aikido and Wing Chun and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. They're the martial arts that take out Muay Thai easy.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, it would be kind of neat, though, to your point, Ash, to see her if in the sequel where she fights, or in a sequel. You know, Creaky wants 4 movies, so it would have to be in the 4th movie where she's in the Zot. You know,
you're not asking for much, mate.
No, man, I want it all, Jack. I want it all. But anyway, where she fights Toji, you know, and he's he's kind of a master of space karate, I guess is what Kishiro called it, which I would think is an amalgamation of a lot of different styles, you know. And she fights Toji, you know, and that you know, I remember in the manga it's pretty cool. You know, I liked it. What I particularly liked about that whole arc right there is before they fight, Toji kind of invites her to have tea with him. And she has this is in the Last Order. I don't know if you read that or not, Dizzy, but you know,
just a start.
Yeah, she has this big cup, teacup, you know, because Toji's huge. You know, I mean, he's bigger than Thanos, you know. And she's got this big cup, and look, little bitty girl, you know, this big ass cup. You know,
she looks like fucking Tinkerbell, mate.
Yes, she does. It was kind of funny, you know. but it kind of spoke to the respect that Toji had for her, and of course she had equal respect for him, I guess, So yeah, but it would be kind of neat to see her fight against that kind of style, particularly that space karate, and any other style against opponents going through the 4 movies that Creek wants to see. So, maybe they could put her up against, someone who's practicing the ancient art of Taekwondo, or something like that, and she fights that individual. That'd be the coolest thing ever, I think.
I remember I'm at the start of The Last Order. I think I'm like probably halfway through the first book, and there's this like massive robot thing that's like she's like the size of one of the toes of this thing, and then she's like, "So you want to play?" And then just rips it apart. I'm like, "Yeah, no worries."
Yeah, is that Zerker Pan?
No. This is in The Last Order.
Oh, in the last order. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just like a random, just a robot that was picking on someone, and then she's like, "Oh, so you want to play then, do you?" And then just like totally smashes this thing into pieces.
Wasn't that the robot that the guy who was Destiny Nova's apprentice created and uploaded his brain into?
Probably, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was in Zalem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, Roscoe.
Roscoe, that's the dude.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Little psycho.
Well, he ain't Roscoe no more, mate.
Well,
He's not available to comment, as Destiny Nova said.
Well, that's one of the things about Panzer Kunz, that I didn't bring up a while ago when we were talking about her military training. But, Panzer Kunz is not only just a zero-G thing and martial arts and all that, but it also is specifically designed for cyborgs to be able to fight opponents much bigger than themselves. And that kind of goes to what you're saying there, Diz, how she fought that big-ass robot and just kind of demolished him.
It was like she took on one of the Evangelion robots and just sliced it up into nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, she's quite badass, that little girl. I would hate to have to fight her.
Alita versus Evangelion robots. Who's going to win, mate? I got my money on Alita.
You're talking about Zapan, right?
Nah.
No.
Oh, that's what Zapan reminded me of. When she fought him, he looked like one of those robots from that weird anime where he jerked off in the hospital.
You mean when he was Zerker?
No, they call them angels. The ones that the Avas were fighting were called angels.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, but I thought Zapan looked like a fucking alien.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he looked like a skull.
Yeah,
he's got a bit of that going on.
Which is funny because he has that skull emblem on his back in the movie, and it's just like that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, he looked like that queen, didn't he? That alien queen in Aliens, didn't he?
He is a bit of a queen, mate. Especially when he got his face sliced off, bitch.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
My wife.
And he whined about it. So there you go. Yeah. So anyway,
wait a minute. Wasn't it Japan that mentioned that Hugo was still alive? I'm trying to remember that part, or I didn't see that.
That was it. What you mean in the movie or the manga?
Movie or the novelization of the movie? I'm trying to remember how they.
Well, the movie Vector tells Alita that he knows that Hugo's still alive, and of course
but that was just
that was Nova
as a telephone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were hooked up over the internet. So anyway, kind of like we are on Twitter. So, I know what I want to do. I want to. Dizzy, did you see the new Kansas bar? Did you see that?
Yeah, mate, it looks awesome.
Okay, yeah. I just.
Oh no, I seen you unwrap it, but did you put it up?
Oh, I got to do it then. I got to show him.
As they say in southern Sydney, he's fully sick.
How good's that, man? That sick.
Is great. That is great, man.
It's fully sick.
I'm jelly. I'm jelly, bro.
Isn't that something? The Creek's behind that bar right there, but he doesn't drink anymore. At least he doesn't drink hard liquor.
Mate, you need to pop one of those to celebrate the Kansas bar, mate. You need a bloody. It's like breaking a bottle over a new ship, man.
You're right. and I know if Cran ever comes to visit, her and Rido, I'm gonna have to get some Kraken because I don't have any Kraken up there.
Oh, mate.
I know it's
The Kansas bar has no Kraken.
Yes,
It's like a pub with no beer.
It's not really the Kansas bar, then, is it?
There's only one thing that's driving my OCD crazy, and that's that you got carpet in the bar. That sounds like a bad idea.
It looks like carpet with lots of cigarette burns.
no, that's where I undone. I kind of there's a bunch of trash on the ground stuff because when I was unpacking it and all that shit, and I literally got that sign up 15 minutes before time for the stream, so I didn't have much time, or else I would have vacuumed, after I, got it up.
She's right, mate. All the focus is on the sign, not the carpet.
Exactly.
Except for if you're dead.
I'm gonna spill. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna spill. I'm gonna smash a bottle over Dizzy's head. That carpet's gonna get stained up, man. It's gonna have blood and puke and piss.
Oh shit! I guess I'll have to rip that carpet up then. After all that shit happened.
It looks like it's from 1960 anyway.
It looks like it's from what, Dizzy? 1960,
mate.
Well, I'll tell you, this house was actually built in 1981, so it's kind of old, Now I built
my house was built in 82.
Okay, well,
Australia existed back then.
Yeah, mate. We were still getting bottles broken over our head then. Foster's
like in the
bottles,
movie.
mate.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that's an Australian conspiracy theory. Yeah,
but I'll tell you guys one thing: I am very proud of this bar, and the sign definitely, but the bar itself. You
did a good job.
Well, my stepfather and I built that bar, and that's one of my fondest memories of us doing that. And you know what was funny about it? I'll tell you a story. We were building this bar, and I was doing the plumbing on it, and I hate fucking plumbing. I hate it. So here's the thing. I couldn't get the damn thing to stop leaking. And if you look under my left hand there, where my Fitbit is, if you go down there on just to the right of to the left of it, there's a little sink there, and it's got a faucet and stuff like that. And I couldn't get that son of a bitch to stop leaking, and I was putting all kind of goop on it and tape and adjusting, putting different gaskets and shit like that in there. And my stepfather said, I was in the Navy for 25 years and I never heard words like you used doing that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm quite proud of this bar, even though I don't really drink hard liquor anymore. I do drink beer, though. I will have a beer.
Now you've got a reason to go in there and sink piss, mate. It's the sign.
Yeah. There's a drawing of my stepfather right there. You see where my cursor is. Yeah, that's a drawing of him. He was in he was a pilot in World War II, but now he's older here. He's not. And, we all went out flying one day and he got behind in the cockpit of one of these things and, kind of with another person, he flew the plane, it's kind of cool, so, yeah, I'm quite proud of this bar actually. So
it looks like you've got some sort of pillow wrap around the edges there. Is that for when you trip over and hit your head, you don't hit the corners?
Well, yeah, but it's also, you know what they call that? They call it donkey dick.
Yeah,
righto. What do they call it that, mate?
Well, because it's kind of large for one thing. It's got a big hole in the middle of it. You put it around pipe, and they just call it that. They just call it donkey dick.
Fair enough, mate. I suppose what happens on the ranch stays there, mate.
Yeah. Well, we don't have too many ranches around here.
That's probably a good thing then, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's
we got
cool
plenty of ranches in
guys.
Florida, so y'all all invited.
It's cool listening because I'm making drinks right now.
Nice. So anyway,
Is there any Alita themed mixed drink that anyone knows of?
Yeah, Fruity Tingles.
You know what Cran's got on their damn YouTube page about the Kraken Kunstler has spoken. I asked her one of the streams she was on. I asked her if Kraken was the official Elite Army drink, and her response is, "It better fucking be."
That, and I want to know what beer
Maxie
Alita
says-
kicked into those two dudes' heads. Those
Yeah,
would be the two
Maxie-
official drinks.
Maxie actually said, I wish I had a recording of that. So she kind of extracted that out of the stream, downloaded the video of my stream, and she put that. So now we got a recording of it. So,
I believe the young people say clip it.
okay. Well, I'm not all that
Clip
young.
that.
So.
Clip it.
So anyway, yeah, I'm quite proud of this bar. Up here, you see that sign in the upper right-hand corner up there? It's a yellow sign. It says, street girls bringing sailors in must pay for room in advance.
Did you say room or root?
Room.
Ah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's cool. So,
The next project now is to repaint the whole walls and do it exactly like the Kansas bar, mate.
yeah, you and Maxie both want me to do that. And I'm not going to do that.
Oh, come on, mate.
This is the Denver branch of the Kansas bar there.
Sort of like a motorcycle club, mate, but Alita Army.
Yeah. That's
The
right.
yeah.
This is the Tan Man branch of the Kansas bar.
That's right. Yeah, it does look tan, doesn't it?
You only need a safari suit and you'll fit right in. It's like urban camo.
I gotta warn you guys. There's this bad guy that's hiding out in Colorado. Because if I remember correctly, isn't the Cheyenne Mountain there?
Well, Cheyenne Mountain's about 80 miles south of my house. So,
Oh, good. I'm just saying, Dusty Nova's there.
Well, that sumbitch is older than the hills. Isn't it? So,
Well,
Maybe-
here's the funny
Brought him
thing.
in for some flan, mate.
He looks when he's like 20 years younger. He looks like he's about the same, and he's got to be what? If he was 50 when he left, he's got to be like 70 by now,
yeah.
or 80, 90. What? We don't know how old he is. That's scary.
Yeah. Well, Karula's around here somewhere, I imagine.
Outer
Isn't she like-
space.
Isn't she like 700 years old or something like
Oh my!
Oh, Dan, keep it down.
that? So anyway, there's my bar again, guys. I brought everybody back to it, but I'm quite proud of this damn thing. So
That's good, man. I love it.
yeah.
So how many times are we showing it tomorrow, Creaky?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Tony actually set up the instance for the stream, and I can't stream to it, so I can't, unless he lets me share my screen, I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to do that, so I think he's going to use Google Meets, I think.
No,
Or
he's got
he's-
some other thing.
Yeah,
that
that's
wants to
right.
use.
That's right. What's it called? Marlin or something like that? I can't remember.
It's a fish.
Something like that, yeah. So anyway, yeah, Queenie, what is this? Yeah, I put a couple of Queen things on my Queen songs on my YouTube page. So anyway. Alita's really good at hand-to-hand combat. We know that. And you see some of her exploits right there. And of course, Den and I have also talked about this too, is that we both love how she kind of does that little kata in front of the mirror, and it's kind of like formal movements. And that one thing she does called Snake Creeps Down is a Kung Fu move, Tai Chi actually is what it is. And she, kind of goes through the chain punch and all that, and it's all formal, and it looks like she's been practicing karate just like you would go in the karate studio. And then she fights those cyborgs in the alley, and it's ground and pound, Jack. I love that,
And she weighs a lot too, so it's not like he's gonna be able to just get back up, just buck her off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
She's pretty much fucked. That's really all she has to do is just sit on people and smash them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's plastic and metal put together.
Well, the thing about her though is that when Ito found her in the scrapyard, he kind of held up her core out at arm's length with his arms straight. I'm not sure he's strong enough to do that if she weighed, like, let's say she weighs 300 pounds fully put together, and you assume that core is about half that weight. I don't know if he's strong enough to hold 150 pounds out like that.
There wasn't half of her there, man. And I heard the other body was made of carbon fiber.
Yeah, so it might be lighter, you know. Yeah, it might be light.
It's probably not the core that provides most of the weight. I mean, brains aren't that heavy. I have held a human brain in my hands, which was disgusting.
Yeah, well, that probably would have been Davo's, mate. Of
it's
course,
not
it wouldn't have been that big, mate.
Harsh realm. No, actually, it was like the first week I was working in my job back in 1999. And
1999, bruh.
Yeah, ages of fucking go. And they said, change the preservative fluids on the human brain, and I'm like, ugh. And put the gloves on, lift the thing up. It's weird holding a human brain in your hands, even if it is like preserved. It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
Freaky.
Yeah, anyway,
but they're not heavy. They're not heavy. They're not heavy at all.
Is that because they ain't full of water and potatoes?
Yeah, potatoes would be right.
Yeah, it would.
I heard the brain loves carbs. Doesn't it love carbs?
Well, apparently the brain uses like 30 to 40% of all the energy you take in.
Yeah.
No wonder I'm tired all the time. Fuck.
Hard thinking, boy.
You know, I guess your processor heats up and uses more energy when it's weaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Just a Fan. I don't think Alita's body, he carried that body up those stairs.
Well, not just that. Even in the manga, it doesn't. I mean, the tuned body doesn't seem that heavy, considering that Koyomi's dragging it.
Well, that's a soft machine body. That's a different. It's a different body.
It's not, but it still has metal and plastic in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's made out of completely like space age stuff. You know what I mean? That's Zalem,
right?
That we're talking about.
Yeah.
That shit that wouldn't even exist as of right now.
I kind of agree.
Well,
with
some of it could. I mean, carbon. There's a lot of carbon composite materials. They're not necessarily.
It's nanotube. If it's nanotubes, though, it's not going to be very heavy. It's going to be.
I'm just saying, I replaced my bicycle with carbon, and it's obviously more expensive than the aluminum, the original aluminum it was built on for the bicycle. But the bike is obviously lighter when you replace so much of the frame with carbon.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Just Fan thinks Alita might have been 170, maybe 200. I doubt.
Which is still pretty heavy. I mean, you look at a girl that's 4'11", and she's like 200 pounds. You're like,
that's heavy, yeah.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Well, I'm saying
confused.
she sits in normal chairs. It's not like she's, I don't know, super heavy.
Yeah. Well, the way Ito carried that body up the stairs, though, I look at Ito. He's not. I don't think he's strong myself.
In the movie, no. He doesn't appear to be.
In the manga, he is. Yeah, he's athletic and all that in the manga. Yeah, I agree. So anyway, our girl's pretty badass in terms of a fighter, hand to hand. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, mate. I wouldn't steal a chocolate. Fuck that.
Oh shit! No, there is no way.
You wouldn't do it twice, that's for sure.
You couldn't even run away.
And that look she gave Hugo when she punched that damn, asphalt. I went, holy shit. If that would have been his head, it would have been, goo. Woo. I wouldn't want that to get mad at me. I think I've told this story before, but I got a friend that he didn't kind of like the movie because he didn't like little girls beating up on big guys and all that. And we were kind of watching part of it. We didn't watch the whole movie. We watched the end of it, and where she jumped over Vector's desk, and she's holding that sword, looking at him. And I said, "How would you like to have that standing on the across the mew with that sword?" Yeah, she'd be badass on you. She'd get medieval on your ass in a heartbeat. And look, she's got Creaky's damn sign up over her head there. Holy crap! So
You see, that's why you can't have carpet in your bar, because you see what Alita did right there.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's not gonna be great.
Well, that's
Creaky,
science.
you know what to be sick, man, as if you had the Alita bust with the sign behind it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Are you getting the bust?
You know, Cran didn't have a lot of good words to say about that, so I'm kind of leery of that bust. You know,
She got one.
no, she was good.
Oh.
She was going to get one, and they gave her the runaround or something like that. She said, "Hell with it." You know, I'm not gonna.
She wasn't happy with the fact that it was poster accurate, not movie accurate, and
Yeah.
some of the colors on the lower part were incorrect.
Yeah,
They made them purple because of the lighting on the poster, not movie accurate, and she was not impressed. And then they wouldn't talk to her about it; they just avoided her, and she's like, "Screw you,
They're pretty
bitches."
active at the minute about it.
Now they are, because they worked out they screwed up.
Hey, it still looks fucking amazing. I don't care what anyone says.
Have you seen that picture of somebody took of sitting the bust in the passenger seat of their car?
Yeah.
well, just a fan. It's close. It ain't maybe not Creaky's sign, but it's pretty close. Yeah, you see how high that sign is too. You know, I mean that thing. My sign, the letters are half the size of these, is what they are. So, and they're a little lighter too. That blue is a little lighter. I might have to work on that because I got this app on my phone that I can adjust the color. You know, so maybe I can kind of work on that a little bit.
I guess if you're paying, I know in Australia that bust is worth about $6,000. I'm pretty sure if you're paying $6,000, you'd want it to be how you want it.
Yep. Well, it would have to be. I'd want it to be really accurate. You know, if I was going to pay $6,000 or 4,500, you know, American, you know, if I was going to pay that kind of money, I'd want that sucker to be very accurate. You know, I think
It sounds like they're making a 1-for-1. So maybe if that's accurate enough for you, Creaky, you can put that in your bar.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm gonna come up with it. I'm gonna kind of get my brother to help me with this. Alita's gonna have a drink in my bar. Is the way that's gonna work, you know. So I got a Hot Toys Alita and all that. So, or maybe I can get say Vladi, you know, to actually take a shot of his Hot Toys Alita with the regular hair, not the plastic hair, but you know,
The plastic helmet.
yeah. He's got, you know, his Hot Toys Alita has really got nice hair, you know, so maybe I can get him to get a couple of shots, you know. And
I think he uses Heads and Shoulders 2-in-1, so it gets a nice shine with it.
Yeah. I guess Alita Baker likes your accent there, Diz. So probably yours too, Max. You know, Alita Baker probably likes Aussies. So we all do.
Of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess the Army loves Aussies.
Well, Creaky, your accent would be enhanced with a mullet, man.
Now, boys, I ain't gonna get no mullet. Oh shit! So anyway,
Creaky, you'd have to change your name to Cletus if you got a mullet.
oh Christ! Muskogee Cletus, yeah, that would work. You know, it's funny when I teach classes or when I've taught classes in like Charlotte, North Carolina. You know, my second wife used to want me to ask them if I had an accent, and I'd you know, ask the students in my class, like I'd have like 20 of them, and I'd say, anybody here think I got an accent? You know, and nobody said, no, are you from up north? You know, no. Then I go up to New York. I go up to New York, you know, and I had this class there that had 25 students in it, and I asked anybody here think I got an accent, and all of them but one raised their hand. Yep, you definitely have an accent. And the one person didn't raise their hand was from Charlotte, North Carolina. So
When I was at work the other day, some guy's like it is Australian too, and he talks to me and he goes, geez, you sound Australian. I was like, mate, I'll give you the hot tip. I'm from here.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know what he was on about.
Yeah. Was he?
He was an Aussie too. It didn't make
Holy
sense.
shit.
You know, if Creaky was Australian, he could be Crikey Creaky.
Oh,
crikey, creaky. Oh, I love that. Crikey, creaky. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let me type that in the chat.
if Creaky had a mullet, I'd be saying that.
Crikey Creaky, look at that.
Is a mullet considered an Australian thing? I thought that was a down south thing.
Well, we are down south, bro, down under.
Nah, Australia don't exist. It can't be in the south if it's not
That's
real.
because we're too far down under, mate. You just don't even know we're here, mate.
Well, you remember, Dan, they're kind of flipped. So then what we consider Southern accents here, to those guys, it would be Northern accents. It'd be weird. Is that right?
Yeah, mate. 100%.
Everyone's a gang to Australia.
So it just keeps getting weirder and weirder the further down you go.
The closer you get to the equator, I guess. You know.
So Dizzy's in Tasmania, so that's the equivalent of a Canadian.
Well, yeah.
Oh shit!
On the other arsehole end of the world.
Well, is Tassie in the Arctic Circle? I might have asked you that once before.
No, not even close.
I thought we were, man, because we're pretty much touching Antarctica.
Nah. No, there's a good distance further south you got to go before you hit the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, I
but
can almost chuck a rock and hit it. Nah,
You've got a strong arm, dude.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, it snows in Tassie, doesn't it?
Mate, there was snow here last week. I can send you a
holy
picture.
shit. Okay, well, I believe you.
Because I woke up and went, fuck, it's cold, and I looked up on the hill and there was snow. So, that's why.
See, the difference between like the North Pole and the South Pole is that the North Pole doesn't have a land mass. It's just got an ice sheet. Antarctica is an actual continent. It's quite large. And if you have a look at, if you Google Antarctic Circle, you see that the Antarctic Circle is basically around the continent of Antarctica.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm looking at it right now.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's basically just Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all.
South America.
My mom just logged on, which is interesting since she's been dead for 2 years. But my mom, I assume, is probably Cran.
I was gonna say David.
No, David's at work.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
I knew it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How's it going, Cran?
Just now getting to sit down. What the fuck is up?
Well, we're talking about the Antarctic Circle at the moment. Who knew?
Yeah, we got off.
Sounds about right.
We got off Alita and started talking about geography. Oh, let me show Cran. I got to show Cran.
Hang on, before you show Cran, just before we get off the topic.
All right.
Can you just share my screen for a sec?
Yeah.
So that's the Antarctic Circle, circling Antarctica.
Isn't that Tassie?
Tasmania. Oh, let me arrow down here so you can see it. Tasmania is.
Oh
there.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's the bottom of Australia, but you can see that the bottom of what did they call that? Terra Nova or something like that.
Well, that's
the very bottom of South America is quite close to it.
Well, that's where the Falkland Islands. The Falkland Islands are there.
This is that waterway where the ships used to disappear all the time when trying to get around the tip of South America. But it's that's the closest bit of land that's not Antarctica, and Tassie's
quite a bit of ways. Yeah.
So I mean, like the Antarctic Circle, the Arctic Circle, England would be closer to the Arctic Circle than Tasmania is to the Antarctic Circle.
Okay.
But you guys have got the Gulf Stream up there, so that makes it a little bit different.
Well, that's cool.
Anyway, there's my
there's your geography lesson for us for today. Yeah. Yeah. Holy
Max is
shit.
informational.
Yeah, that's right. There it is. So anyway, let me show Cran.
I was trying to get cranberry jam, not your mama, but cranberry jam. I was trying to get cranberry jam on the stream for tomorrow, but no, she's going off to watch a movie instead.
Yes.
She's going to see that old Ghost in the Shell anime on IMAX.
Oh, the one no one's ever heard about.
Yeah.
Yes. Says Maxie will now demonstrate global warming.
Oh God.
That's
At least only the flat earthers will disbelieve what I just showed you. There's a lot more arguments about global warming.
Anyway, Cran, you see that? We now have a Denver branch of the Kansas bar.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that print is huge.
Isn't
Yeah.
it
That
sweet?
shirt.
Oh yeah, I was hoping you would notice that shirt.
How can you not? How big is that?
That's huge. And
Oh my
guess
God.
what? Oh, my brother and I went to eat breakfast today. We go to brunch, frequently, and the guy that was taking my, it was my turn to pay, so I paid for the brunch, and he says, what's that character on your shirt? And I said, well, you got a half an hour? So anyway, but I told him, what it was and all that. And he said, oh yeah, I've heard of her, And I went, okay, you can see the movie, that kind of stuff. So,
Well, you know, Cran, that I'm pretty much a billboard of your artwork because I'm really always wearing a T-shirt with one of your 2 artworks you did for me.
Oh Lord. Curl under desk.
nah, Cran, you should be proud of your artwork. Jesus.
Like, yeah.
I like it.
I try.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you have Cran's.
That looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, Cran's artwork along with the Kansas bar, and we just got Kunstler 99 joined us.
Hey guys.
What do you think, Kunstler?
Oh, I mean, I saw that thing firsthand before I shipped it. It looks fantastic in your bar, man.
Yeah, it does. I was just telling everybody that I literally got that sign up 15 minutes before the stream. So I didn't have time to, you see this bunch of crap on the floor where we're just tearing stuff up, But Kunstler 99 really likes bubble wrap too. I discovered that. So
well, I was trying to give the assurance that thing was going to have no chance of breaking on the way down.
Oh, I appreciated it too. Yeah, I did. Plus all those screws that I had to take out.
Yeah.
And I only had one little small Phillips head screwdriver. It took me an hour and a half to get that stuff
Yeah.
out of there.
Now you can open up your own small hardware store now. So
That's right. Yeah. That's
Hey,
right.
Creek, I'm going to have to go ahead and take off, all right? But it's good talking to all you guys.
All right, Den. Yeah, we'll catch you later. We'll watch.
see you, Denny.
Have a good one, Denny.
All right, man. Y'all have a
Bye
good one.
bye.
All righty. So anyway, there we have Cran's artwork in Denver branch of the Kansas bar. So, and oh, by the way,
Oh, does that Cranny's drawing on your T-shirt? I didn't even
yeah,
realize
it
that.
is. Yeah, Ash Blackman just asked. Yes, it is. It is Cranberry Jam's artwork.
That's tip top there.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
quite proud of that thing. That thing is actually not the shirt, but the actual drawing she did for me, or the piece of the artwork, is actually hung up in my gym because you can see she's doing a deadlift there. So,
Hey, when was the last time you watched that T-shirt, Creek?
day before yesterday. Yeah, day before yesterday. So,
No worries.
yeah, I wash once a week. So,
Once a week.
yeah. Hey, I'm the only person living in this house.
Hey, I wouldn't share it all then.
No, I do shower. So anyway, Kunstler, you want to give us a little, kind of your experience building that sign that the Creek is really proud of?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, other than being intimidated by the job, that I was like, what did I just sign up for? But it was fun. It was a challenge, just engineering wise with the machine that I used.
Yeah. We got a new
but,
machine now, don't you?
I'm actually right in front of the table where I'm trying to build it here. So
Yeah.
actually, I will turn on my camera.
Did you like
Hey,
swear lots making
Yeah.
that?
So here is the old machine that I was working on. You can just see kind of for scale. And then this is the table where this is going to fit this new machine.
Oh, that
So
looks
this is big. And actually, I just got done building the Z-axis right
Nice.
here. So this is going to have the spindle. And just got this router that's going to act as the spindle. So
That's a
Nice.
different type of router than what I'm used to seeing, mate. My one's got link lights on there. I'm absolutely shit house with tools, eh? So everything you just showed, I'm like, I don't even know what any of that is, eh? Lucky you're the one making the signs, mate.
Routers are great fun because you can get all sorts of different shapes on the router bits, and you can do all sorts of different flanges and things.
Oh yeah,
They're
well,
good fun.
and what's cool with this is if you get like certain bits, like I'm gonna start dabbling into like 3D relief carvings, so you can actually get like almost like a sculpture that's on like one side of it. There's this one my brother really wants where it's like an octopus, looks like it's coming out of the wall, and this new machine I can carve up to basically 4-inch high material and still be able to cut all the way through down. So I should be able to do some pretty cool 3D stuff eventually. But yes, so the small machine basically I maxed out the size to cut the letters out for that sign. It was as big as I could make it, and ended up basically I had the table saw before I did it, but that's the only reason why I was able to kind of get that done too. Is I got this table saw to cut all the plywood and everything for the sign, and then the LED light strips and wiring and all that to get each individual letter has its own individual cable that goes to this control unit. And basically I bought 3 LED light kits so that they each had their own like 4-prong connection to it, just so that it could all fit and it'd be easily replaceable. I put the letters on there so you could remove them if need be.
Yeah.
So I designed it so if it needed maintenance, you could do it without having to get a whole new sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. And tomorrow, well, certainly I'm going to vacuum my rug and stuff like that. But I'm going to tag Robert Rodriguez with this. You know.
Yeah, it looks fantastic in your bar, man. I mean,
yeah. Oh, it does. I'm proud of it. You know, it's funny. You know, I was just telling them too that it's a little app. That when you take a picture of the Q code on there, QR code. That it goes with your phone. It goes to the website. You click on it, and it goes to the website. And you download the app and stuff like that. You can actually change the color of that sign. It can be green. It can be red. It can be yellow. It can be purple. And I'm going to play with it because see right here, this is kind of it's very blue. But if you look at say this sign, you see how light blue that is? I think I can change it to make it even look like that,
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So you probably haven't messed with the app too much, but when you first open it, there's that like circle of color around the power button.
Yeah.
Basically you can slide your finger and you'll literally see it change right in front of you. And then once you get the color you want, then you can also change the brightness of it. But yeah, I was able to.
I'm going to play with it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to play with it. My brother said, "Man, let's make it red." And I said, "No, man. I mean, I can make it red, but no, that's not the right color." And he said, "Oh yeah, that's right. The color is blue. I forgot." So he's watched Alita about 6 times himself. So he remembers.
That's cool, but yeah, no, it's funny when you pick up that sign after getting out of the box. It doesn't feel that heavy compared to that box. That box made that thing crazy heavy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was fairly heavy, I would say. You know, it was.
Well, not everyone is strength training like you are. Like,
that is not a fair judgment.
Well, I was
92 pounds.
I was
92 pounds.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, I was able to pick it up pretty easy, but
We're going to show off.
No worries, Arnold.
The sign itself is about 30, I think. That's what it feels like to me, or maybe 25. You know, I don't know. Is that about right, Kunstler?
I didn't really weigh that part of it. I only knew 92 because that's what the UPS shipping was charged by.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, I guessed it was going to be closer to like 40.
Oh, okay.
Or like 30. No. That was my guesstimate on it.
Yeah, it's got a real nice bracket up there to mount it with and all that. And I was able to straddle a couple of studs, you know, with it. You know, I got my stud finder on it and, you know, kind of straddle those two with that and then just hang that guy up, you know, and it was perfect, you know. So
yeah, well, that thing's supposed to be able to hold 300 pounds, that bracket. So,
well, it's definitely. I got more screws in it than you know.
In your head,
not my butt.
Yeah, I got my head, which is a lot. Yes, well, Ash, I am going to do kind of a little video of this. I'm gonna get my brother to help me. I'm gonna ask Lottie to come up with some. But I'm gonna have Alita in here having a drink with me. So, so you know, maybe
if you got screws in your head, you're doing it at the wrong end, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I am.
There's already one screwhead in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Yeah. And you see the Denver Bronco pendants back there. So, you know, there they are. So, yeah, but we're going to make it darker too. I'm going to put a little, you know, that's a window right here that's got kind of a like smoke glass behind it. I'm going to change that. I'm going to make it, you know, dark. And then, you know, next picture I take, I'm going to close the vent. I got a kind of like a awning, not awning, but, you know, kind of an awning type thing going sideways with it that I can close it. And I can make it dark in here. And I got track lighting in here, so I'd turn that off, but just use that sign. I think it would, I'm playing with that color like Kunstler was saying. I can kind of get pretty close to the, you know, to the ambiance, you know, of the real Kansas bar. So
yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when that room's like pitch black and you only have that thing on, how much it lights up the whole room.
Yes.
It actually
well, what's going to be neat about it is people are going to ask me, you know, if I have a party or something like that, well, Kansas, what do you got Kansas over here? Because, you know, people in Colorado, you know, they say Kansas and they go, oh man, Kansas, that's flat, you know, all that stuff. Why? What Kansas? There's nothing happening in Kansas, you know, particularly Western Kansas, you know. And of course, now I get to say, you got a half an hour? And talk about Alita, you know. So that's what I'll do, you know. And Cran, I'm going to buy some Kraken. I don't have any Kraken up there. So,
what shame.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, they railed on me. So I'm going to go. I don't drink hard liquor anymore, but I am going to go to the liquor store and get some Kraken.
Well, you just got to stare at it.
What's that, Cran?
I was going to say you can get a little tiny bottle if nothing else.
Oh, no, it's okay. I don't mind. And Dizzy suggested I have a shot, you know, or have a drink. Yeah.
Yeah, on live stream. Send it on live.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, we'll all jump in, mate. We'll all get cracking. We'll all do shots.
Yeah.
One of Creaky's back stage parties, mate.
Yeah.
Where everyone gets naked and drinks Kraken.
Yeah, naked. I could do that. Of course, I'd want to stay behind the bar, but I don't want to scare off the viewers.
You're going to keep your shotgun below the bar, are you?
That's right. So, but anyway, any Alita Army person, let me know. You know, do not stand by. I'm going to invite him up, you know, or down. He lives up in Arvada, you know, about 25 miles from my house. So I'm going to invite him down. We'll have a drink, watch watch Alita, so.
That's not quite staggering distance.
No, it isn't. And Alita Rave lives up in Fort Collins, and that's about 50 miles, I would say. So, Cran, what is this with the yellow with the orange background?
I'm trying to do something and it's not working.
Ah, okay.
She's trying to go live and have shots of Kraken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
She DM'd that to me just before.
Oh, there it goes.
I know what I want to play. I know what I want to play. I'm going to play it right now. So,
Oh, for blood.
yeah, you know what
Upside
I'm
down.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, why is that upside down? Oh, because the camera's upside down.
Come on, mate.
Look at this.
What's happened? It looks like you've had too many Krakens already. What's all that shit you've spilled all over the ground there? Noodles.
Look at this.
Oh, you got a dead rabbit.
You see that, Gran?
Oh, yep.
So is Kraken the official Alita Army drink?
It better fucking be. Oh, Lord.
Oh, I wish I had a recording of that.
Yeah. So is Kraken the official Alita Army drink? I love that, Gran.
Oh,
Alita
gosh.
Army drink.
Oh, Lord, is this going to keep looping?
No, I'm not
What's,
going to. I turned it off. So.
So Chaos got there. He's got a blue bottle of something. What's that, mate?
What is that? Oh, that's not that.
You're muted.
You're on mute, bro.
You're muted there,
Oh,
Chaos.
I just
There it
mixed
goes.
a bunch of drinks together. It's cool.
That's
I
rocket fuel, is it?
Streamed it.
Is that stuff that turns your lips blue, or what is that stuff called?
Oh, I just use regular dye to make it blue, but otherwise it's raspberry.
I thought you were making blue curacao something.
Oh, here we go. Look here. We got something going here.
I'm a drinking Kraken.
Yep.
'Cause what the hell else?
Very
much.
nice.
Are you drinking that with just Kraken and water, or you got?
It's got ginger ale in it.
Oh, ginger ale. Okay.
Water? Who are you, Creek?
Nah, I wouldn't drink it with
The
water.
frozen variety.
Yeah. God, Cran, I forgot you had that big ass monitor up there.
There's two of them.
Oh, damn, nice. How's Orido doing?
Doing good.
We're gonna have to go have another drink when I come back to North Carolina.
Soon.
We'll work that out. No big deal. Cool.
Don't think I have.
All right, well, I actually gotta take off here.
All righty there, Chaos. Was that Chaos or was that?
The blue drink was
Yeah.
me.
That was
It's me. Just
okay. All right, man. Well, we're glad you joined.
yeah. No, I saw you talking about it again, and I had a brief moment to pop on. So
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to do a stream in there. Do it from my laptop.
that'll be great.
Yeah. Have all the lights down, and all that stuff, so it looks like the.
Sounds quite romantic.
Yeah.
I was about to say boom chicka wow wow, but
Just get the Barry White out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for over 2 hours, so I think we done talked it out. I just want to say a few little things about Alita's military experience. Just to show that, she's not a green boot. She's quite accomplished soldier. Fought in the Great War and fought on the moon, all that stuff. We all saw the movie, so and did that. Get that destroy Zalem thing, and all that kind of good stuff. Fought against Erica, Erica telling Erica she's a Necro soldier, and that kind of kind of went over like a lead balloon, as they would say. And of course, being in special forces. Now that last bullet, Hunter Warrior, that's not really military, but it does involve a little bit of ability to hunt people down and collect the bounty and all that kind of good stuff. So it's similar in some ways. So
got to be better than your prey.
yes,
that is one point that people have brought up about the movies, that it didn't show her being a hunter warrior at all, whereas in the manga, he was collecting bounties, getting money together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was only one scene there where she was with Hugo. Well, no, she actually told Ito that they could be a team, So, and then there was that one scene where she said that she could, he needed 90K, and she said, "Oh, I can get that bounty," and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all, wasn't it? Really didn't go into too much.
Yeah,
it was
that's why the video
implied.
game is good.
It was just implied.
Yeah.
But that's why the video game is good, because you keep getting bounties, and that's how you get upgrades.
Oh.
You get bounties and upgrades all throughout the game. That's like your experience points in the game.
Yeah.
Basically, by destroying people, you get upgrades.
God, I wish they had have ported that to English.
Oh,
Japanese,
I've
mate.
already translated like one frame, because I can just screenshot it, and because it only does written text anyways. I'm gonna actually just start recording, voiceover dialogue, translate voiceover dialogue, because the game has no spoken voice. It's all just sound effects and
It's a 8-bit background music kind of deal.
Yeah, background music too. But I figured, hey, because Creaky suggested I try and do that, and I'm doing it, because you could translate from just taking a photograph if you want to. It's that easy nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, it amazes me though that you're so fast with that, playing that game. It's in Japanese, and you go right.
I'm just very intuitive and very persevering.
Go into
got a good touch.
Get the right weapon, get that kind of stuff. What the hell? I can't read that. So
I can't read half of it myself. I just have a good touch.
Yeah. So anyway, Ash Blackman asks, is there any part of that soundtrack has a bar fight in it? I don't think so. I don't know. I guess
No, it's not. It's not on the official soundtrack album. In fact, it was Rob Rod's band that played that, and it's not on the official soundtrack.
Now, what you can do, Ash, is that you go to that scene and you just go to Google Assistant and say, "What is this song?" and then play it, and it'll tell you what it is. Then you can go hunt it down, But
I don't know that it's released, but
is that right? Oh,
yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't done that myself. It might work.
yeah.
Give it a shot. Suck it and see, as my old supervisor used to say.
Yeah. Give it a go. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Did we miss anything, guys and lady?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there's our girl. Well, she's not a girl. There's our woman. There's our queen right there. And of course, as far as being an actress and being Alita, she's number one in Creek's book. That's for sure. And when we do get that sequel, or in sequels, when we get those, when we get that total franchise, it's going to end up being 5 movies, the 4 sequels and the original, Rosa's got to be in it. I've said this before, if Rosa couldn't do it, maybe because of scheduling or something like that, she can't do it and they got somebody else, I'd still watch it, but it wouldn't be the same for me. It would, it wouldn't be Rosa. So, anyway, Rosa's number one. And I guess Brand New Cherry Flavor is still on Netflix, I think. So, and
I doubt they're going to take it away. It's a Netflix original.
It's not going to be on. Is it going to be on for a while, or is it going to stay on? Isn't it? If it's
I don't think it's a limited thing, because it's a Netflix original, so it will stay.
Yeah, well, it does say Netflix limited series, so I don't know up there, but
that means limited number of episodes.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
all right. So anyway, so check that one out. The Creek watched a little bit of the first episode, and then I had to do something else. so I couldn't continue watching it. But I do intend to watch this. You know, I'm not a big fan of horror, but if it's got Rose in it, I'm gonna watch it. So anyway, Maxie, you want to talk about this tomorrow? I think
Sure.
we host, you know.
So obviously two of the big cyberpunk sort of manga anime franchises on the screen there right now for you is Alita and Ghost in the Shell. Obviously, Alita Battle Angel is named after the titular character, whereas Major Kusanagi, Motoko Kusanagi is the name of the lead character in Ghost in the Shell. Both of them are total replacement cyborgs, but their worlds are somewhat different, and that is where the question for tomorrow's stream comes in. If they swapped places, who would do better and why? So that's what we're going to be discussing tomorrow. So we want all the fans of Ghost in the Shell. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you're a fan of Alita already. But if you're a fan of Ghost in the Shell, or if you're wandering off to see it like Cranny is, and hopefully not right when the stream is on. God damn it, Cranny, your timing sucks.
Oh, fuck you. I do what I want.
Great,
I gotta fuck you. Yeah, I gotta fuck you.
You got
See,
your
I didn't choose the times for the movies. I had to pick one.
So anyway, I got to stand in for Davo, seeing he's not here. So I had to get a fuck you out of you. So felt like we were continuing in the great Australian tradition, getting told to fuck you. So
fuck you.
Thank you so much. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be discussing tomorrow. So put your thinking caps on. Rewatch Ghost in the Shell if you haven't watched it recently. I'm going to sit down and watch the animated version again because it's been a while since I watched it, probably about 15 years. So I should probably have another watch. Just a little while.
There's more than one. There's more than one different take on Ghost in the Shell.
There is. So the movie is somewhat different from the anime, and then there's the manga as well.
Well, there's multiple. There's Arise, this is the most recent one. There's Standalone Complex, and they're all just separate stories. They're not the same continuity.
This is true, but they all have the same flavor and the same setting.
Yeah.
So.
I think
that's more what we're looking at. How would Alita do in that setting, and how would the Major do in Iron City in the Badlands? So we'll talk about where they might come a cropper. And that's an Australianism for where they might have problems, and where they might excel. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. We have Foxfire and Nick Osborne recently of Comic Watch, who will be coming on to chat about these, and anybody else who wants to rock up and have a chat, get in contact, and we'll get you a link. We are going to be using a new technology. What the hell was that thing called?
I can't remember. Well, let me go look at that.
Melon.
Chaos inbound tomorrow, then.
Oh shit! Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's using melon. That's right.
Bring the popcorn.
Yeah.
So yeah, we may completely fuck this up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But Star of Alien, Tony wants to challenge us with the new technology, so we'll see what happens.
Nice.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But she's always broken.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be tomorrow. So rock on up and have a chat.
You bet. Yeah. So, okay. Well, why is this image here? Because I like it. That's why here. And I'm running this stream. Not tomorrow. I won't be running the stream. Tony will, or Sarvellian will. And to kind of paraphrase Growishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Elite Army. So that's pretty much it. Damn, Maxie, I got to remember to give Starvellian that.
You better.
That the card thing. I'll have to upload that, to say Google Drive or OneDrive or something, and make him aware of it, so he can grab it and. Maybe he I don't think he uses the same video editor that I do, though, so I can't give him the project file, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, at least he could still play that, so anyway. So anyway, as they say down in Australia, give it a go.
Suck it and see.
Yeah. So any last thoughts, folks?
Alita sequels for days.
Yes. Oh, I do want to say one thing too. I know this was kind of old news, but our Alita Day went over really well. I know we talked about it a little bit last week on both streams, but it went real well. We we got a lot of well over 13,000 tweets, and we had a watch party. We had videos. We had, of course, this stream and the Radio Chaos stream, and it was just people, seemed to really like it. So I think it's a big success, and that's great. Even Rob Rod, retweeted, one of the tweets. So, so successful Alita Day. So, okay. Any last thoughts, guys, before we do the call to action, which is the new call to action, which is going to be film those sequels, baby. All right. On my count of 3, we are going to do the call, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
Sequels, baby.
All right, and we will see you guys next week, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Radio Chaos stream. Ta-ta.